Hello everybody. In today's video I would like to demonstrate the process of replacing rewind assembly. Not just the rewind knob here, but the entire assembly. That includes this rewind assembly plate, a washer, and a rewind fork. The reason I want to demonstrate that is because I've been receiving periodically cameras, and I'm sure those of you that have Canon A1, and a program may have noticed that sometimes this particular rewind fork may have one of these teeth break off. Okay, and that obviously prevents film from properly rewinding or winding, and there's basically a need for it to be replaced. So I'd like to show the correct way of replacing it, the way I typically replace it myself, and another way of replacing it differently, an easy and a fast way of doing it that could potentially cause a problem to this particular little part, a washer. Okay, so let's say if you and these are actually readily available online, or if you have a junk camera, you can borrow this rewind fork and replace it. So there's one way of doing it, a quick way. So first thing, I'm gonna go ahead and remove the door, and say I was gonna remove and replace this fork, right? So I would basically go counterclockwise, remove the knob, put it away. So here's, let's say, my damaged fork. Okay, so what one can do is just push this down, okay, as so, and it will actually come out. Okay, but chances are, depending on the strength of this spring, there's actually a spring that holds this fork in place. Okay, and if this spring is tight, which in some cases it is, and you push this down too hard, you may actually cause this spring to break or snap or actually overextend. And most importantly, this washer here that sits on the bottom of this assembly, there's a good chance that it'll actually break. There should be actually a couple of tabs, which I will show you on this other camera, that's supposed to accompany this washer, which is not on this one because this is an example of a broken washer as a result of me or anybody else pushing it too hard or breaking it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate the proper way of replacing it. And if you have any questions, you can certainly comment or email me with them. So first things first, this is my personal camera. So I'll do what I have to do with it. So I'm going to go ahead and first take out the top cover. And I've demonstrated previously on quite a few videos of this particular model how to remove the top cover, front, top, all the components. And while I'm doing that, I would like to also mention that if you enjoy my videos and the content that I produce, please like and subscribe. That costs you nothing after all, and it tells me a lot about how well this channel is doing, and that allows me to put more similar content. And I definitely would appreciate that. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and remove these parts. Got one more screw to take out. Okay, now since we're getting to the last portion here, which is the shutter speed dial, ASA dial. I'm gonna go ahead and loosen it up, set it to a B, and set my ASA dial to the highest value, 3200. This is the least amount of tension you will give this spring that controls the tungsten wire. Now carefully lift it up. Let's see, oh, forgot a couple more screws here. There we go. All right, now we've got the main board exposed. I'm gonna first remove this ASA assembly and unwind it. Then I'll go ahead and remove it entirely. Okay, so our rewind assembly is located just below this plate. To get to it, I have to do two things. I have to unscrew these two screws. I also have to desolder this contact. This is the flash contact, okay? And that's what I'll do next. All right. Okay. Now let's see if we can loosen up this main board from the contact. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and carefully shift it here to the side, and you'll see that this assembly is being held by 3 wires, okay? Pardon me, 3 screws, what am I saying? And there's a spring here, okay? So one of two things I can do, let's say sometimes this assembly gets bent or cracked. So if I have to replace it, what I'm gonna do is basically remove these 3 screws, which I'll do either way, so I can show you one more component that's right below this assembly, or the plate, whatever you want to call it. Okay. All right, so there's a spring that keeps this door latch in place, as you can see here. I'm gonna go ahead and remove that as well. And now, the reason why I'm pretty much doing this video, I'm gonna lift it up carefully and I'm gonna remove this washer. It just flew away here, but I caught it. And here it is. Here's the washer. Okay. Now here's the other washer that I showed you earlier. You see the difference? This washer still has a couple of tabs in place. This one doesn't. Why? Because this washer is damaged and will do you no good when you lift up the rewind knob. It pretty much will be getting stuck in place, preventing you from properly operating the door latch. And that happened when somebody pushes this rewind fork suddenly with force down. It actually can easily break off this soft extensions here, okay, and break them off. So my point is, when and if one needs to replace it, it's always better to do it the right way to prevent these from getting damaged tabs, okay? Because the reason why, you cannot replace it unless you have a junker camera you can borrow it from. It's pretty much, unfortunately, is the case. All right, so let's go ahead and put everything back together. Hold on. There we go. All right, so this washer is back in place. I'll put back this rewind plate. And the 3 screws. Okay, now, since we have full access to the spring, what I'm gonna do is pull the spring out. I'm gonna insert the rewind fork. Okay, as you can see, it's fully inserted and loose. And only then I will set up my spring. And now it's fully engaging with the spring in their respective positions. Okay, there's like 2 different positions. This is your normal state. This is the up state, basically, okay? Now that it's replaced, we're gonna go ahead and install, oh, as a matter of fact, take it back. I should have installed this first. My bad, but that's no big deal. We can go ahead and rectify this real quickly. Just have to do it one more time. All right, you certainly do not want to forget that other spring too. I'm gonna go ahead and position it back. All right, we've got it all in there. Now we're gonna reposition our ASA plate. Set up our flex board so it's inserted within those pins. A screw here and another one here. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and reassemble the ASA dial. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and resolder these points again. Okay, now let's go ahead and test it, make sure everything works. I'm gonna install my film door. As you can see, it latches as it should. Now I'm gonna go ahead and screw in my rewind knob. All I have to do is just lift it up. It springs nicely and correctly, as you can see here. So technically, if I had a broken rewind fork and replace it, I would have replaced it correctly following these steps. Again, the point of this video is try not to force this rewind fork down, okay, and do it the way I demonstrated if you still can, because that can precipitate damage to this plastic component that could, and possibly to the spring, that could pretty much render this mechanism inoperable. Just be careful. Other than that, this camera is pretty much done. I'm gonna go ahead and put it away. Not gonna worry about putting the top cover back. I'm sure there's other videos that I've done that describes the process of reinstalling the top cover. But what I'll do next, I would like to also demonstrate the same process using a different camera, Canon AE-1 program. It has a slightly different structure to it. Actually, in my opinion, a little bit simpler. So let's go ahead and get to that. So here's our Canon AE-1 program. Again, this is my personal camera. So let's go ahead and start working on that. I will start with removing the screws. As you may have noticed, this one has a problem with the shutter, so I'm not going to worry about it, obviously. Like I said, it's my personal camera. All right, I'm going to remove the ASA dial. First things first, we're gonna remove the top cover's 3 wires, desolder them, put it away. All right. So here's our top cover of Canon A1 program. As you can see, it is pretty different from the AE-1 camera as far as this area is concerned. Okay, so first things first, we're gonna go ahead and remove the C-clamp and take out the ASA contacts. Sorry about that. All right, now we've got 3 screws here. All right, as you can see right here, this assembly looks very similar to the one that we worked on previously, but it is yet still different. Okay, right here you can see the difference. This is a lot narrower, this is a bit wider, so they're not interchangeable, they're different, as well as the springs are different. Okay, in addition to that, you'll notice that rewind fork has a female screw-in entry versus just grab the other one, versus the A1 that has a male. All right, so you can see the difference here. So these are not interchangeable as well, and I think that the size and the height of these rewind forks are slightly different between Canon AE-1 and A1 program. In any case, let's go ahead and remove the spring first here. As soon as you do that, it comes out right here. And again, the rest of the process is pretty much the same. If you have to replace the rewind assembly plate, that would be 3 screws that holds it in place. Like so. And then there is that washer I was telling you about. Okay, so be careful with that too. So this camera is even more susceptible of pushing and removing the rewind fork by pressing on it down, because the spring on it is a little bit tighter. So chances of it, the spring breaking and the plastic tabs breaking off is a little bit higher than that on the Canon A1. All right, so I'll put this back as if I'm reassembling it. All right, now the next step would be reinserting a rewind fork. Followed by the spring. There we go. And lastly, ASA dial. All right, so let's go ahead and test it out. I'm gonna go ahead and screw in my rewind knob, put back the film door, and let's make sure it opens up and springs back. Everything looks perfect. All right, so this is just a short tutorial on how to replace, or proper steps of replacing a rewind assembly or parts of the rewind assembly. All right, so that'll do it for us. If you like the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.